Fear is real. I talk to women every day, and it's like, I'm afraid of putting myself out there. Like, I'm afraid to get copied. I'm afraid of doing something wrong. And that takes a lot of energy. It's an energy leak. And we like to plug those leaks.
We sure do. Love a good plug. The world has taught us some of the most fundamentally useless ways of thinking about success that actually go against our biology when it comes to achievement and happiness, success and peace. We are taught to push through pain at any cost, to use pressure to persist, focus on the goal, and do whatever it takes to get there. This is useful if the goal is to not starve to death. But success by any means necessary comes at a remarkable cost to our future self. Our mantra around here is not a penny from pressure, only pleasure. The More Alive podcast exists to lead us into a new way of achieving and replace outdated advice that threaten the dream life that actually makes us feel more alive. I'm your host, Andrea Crowder, mom, truth teller, and lover of daydreaming, here to help create a world where we all feel more alive. Welcome to the show. My sweet friend and legal extraordinaire, concierge, first phone call, anything that has to do with legal documents protecting our business. We got an email from one of our listeners asking for specificity on the things that I do for my business and legal and protection and all things. And I'm like, I certainly am not qualified to answer any of these questions. So let me bring on the expert who is. So Berkley, welcome to the More Alive podcast. We are so grateful for you to be here. Can we talk about dating while we're here or no?
Oh my God. Yeah. Dating is so much more interesting than legal.
Little fun, little legal, little fun, little legal. We'll just like pepper it all in and like bring the light. How do men receive it when they ask you what you do? If you're on a first date?
I most act very impressed, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, I feel like I get that that's hot.
That's hot.
Whether or not they mean it, it's a different thing.
Can you tell? Do you feel like it intimidates some men?
I think yes. And I feel like it's like an age thing too. Like, I feel like the older men are always like more intimidated where the younger guys are like, that's hot.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know what that says, but
I have generally found the older guys to be less intimidated. But this is like such a human to human thing. Like, age really has nothing to do with it. It has to do with total maturity. But that was like really something I had to work through in my dating world of like, they'll see the internet, they'll see what I do, they'll see how much I make, like, can I really find love? Like a guy.
I definitely and I'm like in the beginning kind of the dating. Like, as you know, I took some time off of dating, and I say we, you and I.
I am a part of this.
We just got back out there. So we're just now kind of seeing what's out there.
All right. Okay. So let's get into the legal stuff and we'll bounce back into this. We should definitely tell the story. No, that's such a good story of the night where we like set the intention and set the timer. I might have already told the story on it. I've told the story somewhere, but I think it was in my private podcast feed.
The story is good.
Okay. We'll say that.
Like explicit detail, but like
right.
Well,
you can share whatever you want to, but
now that we have everyone's attention, we're going to transition.
There's nothing you can't say on the More Alive podcast, just so like we are an open book here. We talk about all things like orgasm, sex, like innermost like thoughts that we think we shouldn't have, the things that we want people to know, the things we don't want people to know. It all comes out here. So we'll edit anything that you feel like you're...
No, let's talk about it all and then let's tag him.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you were like, weren't afraid for your own vulnerability. Okay, great. Oh, I forgot. He's like a little bit of a celebrity.
The timer guy? No.
The timer guy?
No.
A baseball player.
I was like, he's a firefighter.
he is now.
Yeah, he was a baseball player.
The
I
fire
think
the firefighter,
eh,
formerly for baseball player.
formerly
Yeah. Okay.
red flag.
You know what? We don't want to make assumptions. It's just there is a lot of data that
There's a
would
lot of data.
suggest
I feel like that's a safe assumption.
it's a pretty safe assumption, but that's not what we were looking for that night
We
anyway.
were
It's fine. We had clear intentions. Okay, what we're going to come back to, just so you guys know, so we have a nice little cliffhanger to like keep you listening till the end, is that we used this like unintentional manifestation technique that literally got Berkeley exactly like we set an intention that night of exactly what she wanted to manifest. And then we did this one little thing that created it with like the most expeditious speed you will ever see that I totally forgot was like a technique and strategy that I used to use for manifestation all the time. And then I stopped using it. Maybe you just get, I don't know. I don't know why I stopped using it. But as soon as we started using it again, I was like, this is the move. So we're gonna like tag that at the end. Don't worry. And we'll tell you all about firefighter guy.
first. We're gonna make you listen to.
We're going to give you a little bit of like, look, here's the thing. Nobody wants to talk about the legal stuff, but Berkeley's really good at making it fun. And this is like what I love about you is like you bring good energy and like you know how to like tell a good story and like give people the shit that they need to know. And you're just like a good vibe. And so I feel like that's why I love having you on the podcast for this particular conversation is like, the stuff that most of us are really avoiding because it's like stuff that we don't understand or we don't know what we need or we think it's going to be really expensive or like we don't see like the ROI in it and then it gets us in trouble later. So it is a leak. It's leaky energy in people's business and like Berkey's a fun leak plugger. That's what he said.
I'm like, did you just come up with that?
It's all off the cuff here.
We really make legal fun.
We're writing the show as we go. Okay.
Nice.
Do you want to read the email that was sent for us,
Yes,
pretty please?
I do.
Thank
I
you.
do.
Use your best kindergarten speaking voice, please.
Okay.
Kindergarten teacher.
I'd love to get Andrea's insights from a legal and risk management perspective around running a coaching and digital membership business. Specifically, I'm curious about experiences with working with a legal team, what to look for, how you knew you had the right support, and what you wish you had known earlier. What she thinks is essential to have as a creator. There's 5 parts to this question. Do you want to start with that one?
Let's start with that one.
Okay.
Knock it out of the park.
Working with a legal team, what to look for, how you knew you had the right support, how you found the right leak plugger, and what you wish you had known earlier.
Can you express like your true freakiest side to your legal counsel? That's how I would know. And if we can have that dialogue, we can have any dialogue. And then I'll trust you more.
I love that. Yeah, I think trust is like a big one with service providers and like especially lawyers who are like in your business, they're like really in your business.
Right. You know, one of the things that I love about you just posted this on the internet, is like really, even when representing people and you're talking to opposing legal counsel, like you leave people with such a good taste in their mouth. And then they're like giving you referrals. Like the opposing legal counsel is bringing you referrals later on. Like to know that about someone is to know that you have somebody who knows how to like manage energy, and those people tend to get their way more. So just saying.
Manage energy, manage people.
Yeah.
There are a lot of lawyers who don't know people. And I think the two go hand in hand, especially with like personal brands.
Absolutely. Okay. So do you feel like they have like a good understanding of like human behavior, people? Do they know how to like manage the energy of a room, get all people talking in the same direction, efficiency of like getting something done? I don't know if that's actually really relevant, but like I was speaking more in terms of managing the energy. Like that's an efficient lawyer.
I love that. What you wish you had known earlier.
I will speak to that one. Hourly rate is not the thing that I would make a decision with. And that's the thing that a lot of people are making decisions with, like package rate or hourly rate for a project. Because again, if somebody's really good at their job, they're going to get it done faster. And so just because somebody charges less doesn't mean you'll pay less in the end. So I'm looking for like efficiency, not just for their time, but also for mine, somebody who's really good at getting the job done. And for me personally, experience is everything. I would rather pay a little bit more and have a good experience. I remember I hired a lawyer years ago when I was dissolving a professional business partnership, which became worse. That was worse than getting divorced. That was a harder negotiation than getting divorced because of like how fearful she was and like the dissertation in every email that she would send that was like going around in circles. And I'm like, I'm literally dying inside. And like to hand that over to someone who could like manage that was literally, it like saved me so much money in every other project that I was handling. Dear God, thank you for lawyer.
I think like, and I can like, for me, hiring lawyers, because sometimes I have to hire lawyers that are outside of my zone of genius,
Right.
is like referrals. Like, I think referrals are so important. And like finding someone who can speak highly of another professional, especially when you're dealing with like accounting, legal, like all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love when people like find me off of Instagram, but
Mm-hmm.
like I wouldn't find an attorney off of Instagram, you know?
Same. I would never hire someone I would never hire a lawyer. I would never hire a wealth manager, like anybody who has that level of like intimacy in like the legalities of your world or your money. I would not hire them without a personal referral of somebody that I knew intimately.
Mhm. Okay, next question.
Mm-hmm.
Any lawsuits, claims, or legal challenges you've heard of in the industry or personally encountered directly or indirectly, and what lessons came out of them?
I haven't really had this experience yet. I feel like knock on wood. Like, is this real wood? But I bet you have more to say on this.
I love that you say knock on wood, like Taylor's new song, Wood.
Wink.
So, I mean, I'm a trademark attorney, so I feel like I have just a warped perspective.
Perceptive? Perspective.
Perspective. Because people come to us all the time when they have to rebrand. So, like, a common legal challenge I see is like having to rebrand when someone else has trademarked before them and
Mm-hmm.
they think like they own it because they have the domain, they have the LLC,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they have the Instagram handle, but someone else has been using it for the same amount of time and filed the trademark and they
Right.
have superior rights.
Yeah. What happens if somebody filed the trademark, but you used first?
So, if they have had the trademark for more than like 5 years, there's really nothing you can do about it. But say they just recently got the trademark or they're in the like it's pending, you can either oppose their trademark or you can cancel it and assert prior rights.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I had that happen. I got the Freak Rituals trademark for my physical product brand from years ago. And the company Rituals had reached out and they're like, hey, there's infringement here just because I was using Rituals, which for me, it didn't really matter. And they were like really lovely. And they're like, you can continue to actually use it. You just can't have the trademark, which I'm like, you're a, you know, you're worth like hundreds of millions, I'm sure. You're all over like the United States, Europe. And
Mhm.
so if you're like willing to go fight everybody else who's using this word, then like I'll let you and your big legal team do that. I'm totally happy to surrender the trademark if you're
Yeah.
like down with me continuing to use. It really was like a delightful experience. I lucked out in that regard. But like had I had to completely change the branding, especially for a physical product, that would have been really costly beyond
Yes.
just the digital. Digital assets is one thing, like you can recover a little bit easier, but it's still pretty expensive.
And it's
rebuilding
heartbreaking,
branding.
like
Yeah.
people are attached to their name and they're upset when they have to change it.
What do you recommend? People just do like a quick search in the US.T.
Yeah, you can do a quick search on the USPTO website. Hiring a lawyer and having them do a comprehensive search is your best bet because the
Yeah.
USPTO won't. Their search is like very limited. Like it's not going to pick up Starbucks with an X.
Right.
If like you're like, I'm going to name my coffee company Starbucks with an X, it's not going to show the real one.
Yeah.
So you might have a false sense of security that your name is available when it's not.
Can you over trademark?
Yeah, you can start thinking like all of, like you can try to trademark things that are not trademarkable.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like, can you over trademark? Like if you have a product line with 50 products, just because you have a large number doesn't mean you're over trademarking.
For me, here's what I used to do. Every time I thought like I had the best idea, I would trademark right away. And because I'm such a creative, within 6 months, I wouldn't be using that language or that
Mhm.
like mark anymore. And then I'd have all these I have a lot of trademarks I don't use.
I mean, I've definitely done that, I will say. So maybe like premature trademarks rather than I
That's what
should
she
have known
said.
it was a bad idea to get us together. Premature trademarking can be a problem. Like my test on whether or not you should register something is like, do you love it? Like, would you be upset if you had to rebrand? And sometimes that love doesn't grow until you've been using a name for a while,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you live and you learn.
This is like such a gut thing. Like there's like you actually just made me trademark not a penny from pressure, only pleasure. I hadn't trademarked
Love
that
it.
one yet.
No.
It is so good and I've been using it for years and I don't know why I hadn't. But then there are things like more alive. Like I like right away I knew that I was going to want to trademark that one because that was
Mhm.
like a long-term brand play for me. So like before I really started talking about it, like we submitted for that one.
Yeah, podcast names, business names, big things like that. Yes.
Hmm.
And don't build your brand without knowing if it's available because, like, speaking of dating, there's this podcast I love. It's the Sabrina Zohar show. Do
Okay.
you follow her? I don't know. So
No.
she had a different podcast name and she's been very vocal about how she got a cease and desist and had to change her name and was
Hmm.
very upset having to rebrand. And she rebranded to her name, but it was like this whole thing.
Yeah.
So earlier, the better.
Yes, I agree with that. If it's something that if you know your like your ability to like stick with something and you're like, okay, I can like really see long-term vision with this, definitely stuff like podcasts. Definitely do it. But like err on the side of caution anyway.
Hmm.
Um
Before you invest money in it,
mhm.
trademark.
And your time is money. So if you're going to invest a lot of time, like if it's a physical product and you've got to print shit, you better trademark
Oh,
first.
like, immediately.
First.
We've run into, like, nightmares with skincare brands who have product
Yeah.
lines and have printed all of these labels, and then they get
Mhm.
desist, and they can't use
Mhm.
any of their inventory.
Oh my god, I saw like a skincare brand that I knew from down that was local here down in Miami, and they had been existing for years and a huge company was a different company. So Rituals, the vitamin brand, they had sent them a cease and desist.
Mm.
I don't know how they were getting away with that with like it would seem like different classes. I never looked that deep into it, but the woman was heartbroken. So, and you never know, like there's big, especially if you have a physical product company and
Yeah,
and it's like a competitive market and there's bigger companies that will just be like, absolutely, it's too close. And they'll just use a big legal team to,
yeah,
especially when you can't afford it. If you're a small brand and you can't afford to like protect your branding, like do a really good job of ahead of time. Cause
and
I've just seen nightmares with that.
with like, this if I have one piece of advice around, like, naming anything is to, like, avoid famous brand names
Mm-hmm.
and this is something that might only come up when you hire an attorney to do a search, because we've had searches
Yeah.
come up and there's names of products that you would really have, like, you wouldn't recognize as like being owned by Nike or owned by Sephora. But like these companies are policing their trademarks
Mm-hmm.
and they're not going to like be okay with you using it under
100%.
the side of, you know, you being too similar.
Totally. Like Freak only had, 5,000 followers when we got that cease and desist. And like I said, we really lucked out with like them being very kind. Like I would go to them later and be like, who's on your legal team?
Sephora, like, shout out to Sephora. They have an amazing legal, like, they're so nice. Like,
Oh,
in
really?
terms, yeah, that we've got, I mean, we get cease and desist from famous brands all the time. And Sephora is like the sweetest. So I'm like, I like shopping at Sephora.
Oh, that's great to hear. I don't always hear awesome things about Sephora, but it can be more on like the distribution side
Mm,
versus their legal team.
yeah,
But
their legal team was sweet.
yay. Okay. All right. Go Sephora. Go legal team. Got some extra customer loyalty from that. If you're a digital course creator, imagine this. Your clients start coming to you and they're like, Andrea, this is the first program that I've ever finished, start to finish, and then came back to again and again and again. I know one of the things that we really look forward to is the people who are actually transformed by our work. Not only are they transformed, but then they come back and they're asking for more. One of the tools that we have used that has been so profoundly impactful in creating this type of response and experience for our customers is how we produce our programs through digital audio only. Almost every single one of our programs, aside from maybe the occasional masterclass where I might have a few slides, is digital audio only. And then we offer transcripts for people who want to be able to have something visually that they can look at. But the thing that I know about my customer, and tell me if this is the same for you, is that she's on the go. I used to call it, driving to and from work, drive time academy, where I'm on my way to work, 45 minutes there, 45 minutes home. That means 90 minutes a day I'm learning. I'm understanding the thoughts, the identities, the skills, the patterns, the behaviors of the identity of the person who's already achieved what it is that I want to achieve. And that's the beautiful thing about the coaching industry and what we're able to support people through is like, we've already achieved this identity. We're going to give you our steps and how we did that. And I found the best way in actually executing, delivering that material is through audio only. So we are obsessed with Hello Audio. People message me all the time. They're like, how do you do this? What's the tool? It's Hello Audio. There's nothing else that you need to know. Here's what we have experienced since we switched is not only do people come and they're like, hey, I've completed this program. How many people like buy a program, they go into Kajabi, they never open it. I have so many programs I've never actually used because there's this almost like a barrier to entry, which tends to be that password. And so for me, I'm constantly in my podcast. So I'm like, why wouldn't I put my program where my people already are? So when people are screenshotting the podcast that they're listening to, oftentimes their podcast library is filled with my face, which is becoming almost like free advertising to other people. It has been so impactful in marketing and customer experience. And then people come back and they want more and more and more. So that's why people say like the majority of their feed is filled with my face because it's so easy for them to consume when they're on the go. And aren't we all on the go? So we have been in diehard devotion to our pretty much audio only to the point where I even have a private podcast feed that is a subscription, a monthly subscription. I nearly replaced the majority of my private client work with me doing my private subscription with my Legends in the Making offer. So people are paying me to be able to access an additional podcast, so to speak, where people are getting my channeled thoughts and like what it is that I'm thinking and how I'm continuing to build and grow my business on the go as I'm doing it. Hello Audio. The way that I've done all of this is Hello Audio. I've been on their podcast multiple times. I can't stop raving about them. Lindsay, who's one of the founders, is just like a fucking brilliant human. And she, like the creation of this product, the evolution of this product has only gotten better and better and better. And we're only more aligned and in more complete devotion to continuing to use this product for our customers. We are so obsessed with the overall experience. Our customers message us all the time because they just really enjoy the experience comparatively. You know, that customer guilt where you're like, oh, another program, I didn't use it. I kind of feel bad about it. We just don't get that. People message us and they're like, I did it. I finished it. Not only did they get what they came for in terms of whatever type of knowledge or identity shift that it is that they're looking to achieve, but also the satisfaction of the thing that I set out to do, the thing that I spent my money on, the thing that I invested in, I actually got my money's worth. And they feel really good about that. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And Hello Audio offered me an amazing 2-month, not 2-day free trial, a 2-month free trial just for my audience. I'm telling you guys, I'm their number one power user. And now I kind of feel competitive about it. So just know that you'll never beat me. Last time I checked, I had the most Hello Audio feeds out of all of their customers because I use it for everything. The way that we can just, I mean, like all of my client work, my clients have their own custom feeds. Of course, like all of my coursework, any of my like free opt-ins, I've used it for list building when I want to give like a free guided visualization or anything else like that. So you guys, Hello Audio, 2 months for free. Give it a try. Swear to God, you will not regret.
Okay, what is our next question? Key legal considerations for coaching and providing advice online, especially through memberships and digital programs. So I think I'll answer this one, right?
Yes.
So trademark, business name, number one. Having like a terms of purchase for your membership, for your mastermind, for your coaching, or a contract that you have people sign that like is very clear on what you're delivering, what your payment terms are what your refund policy is,
Mm-hmm.
what your termination policy is. Like, is it like a full term that they're paying for, or like, is it month to month? Having disclaimers in there. So if you're giving business coaching advice, like you should have an earnings disclaimer that says like, we're not promising that you're going to make $1 million this year, even if you follow my $1 million method,
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the key legal considerations. There's like
Health
trademark
disclaimer.
contracts, disclaimers, health disclaimers. Yeah, just whatever industry you're in, have a
Mm-hmm.
disclaimer that matches it.
That's a big one in mine just because we do a lot with like emotions with people.
Yeah.
Is like making sure that we're like totally covered there of like this is not
Yeah,
in
this is not
replace
medical
of
advice.
it's not medical advice. This is not in replace of mental health
Doctor.
support, like et cetera, et cetera. Like really
Yeah.
make sure you are like zeroed in and have like that could break a company and a family, depending on how big your company is. If you are like a smaller business and you're like not making a lot, but like somebody has a bad experience and they blame you, like it's really important to have those. Please,
And
please,
have
please.
those disclaimers, like not just in your terms of purchase and in your contracts, but in like your website terms of use for anyone like
Mm-hmm.
going on your website and reading your blogs, have it in your email newsletter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can
Copyright.
even
Go
a,
ahead.
lo- a lot of I'm like zeroing in on this one because a lot of the women who listening have some sort of like healing practice. So it's like a huge amount of the women that listen. And like you can even put up a disclaimer on your Zoom that people have to like accept before they like enter like a group call with you or a one-on-one. Like there's just so many different ways to protect yourself there.
Well, anytime you have like a one-on-one call, you can even like on like Calendly or Acuity, whatever you're using, like you can accept terms before you get on that call. And in
Mm-hmm.
those terms, have those disclaimers
Mm-hmm.
in there.
All put in all the places.
All the places. Common pitfalls you've seen other coaches face when it comes to contracts, waivers, disclaimers, or even working with minors. So you kind of just said that.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Have them.
Mm-hmm. Hire a fucking professional. Do not ChatGPT this.
Don't please. Anything you wish you had understood earlier about protecting yourself legally in this industry?
You know, I've just heard a lot of stories. Like, we don't know what we don't know. And the nice thing is that we do live in a world where we have access to AI. So, beyond this, like, you could go to AI and you could ask, like, what are all like the ways that I could protect myself for this specific industry? What are some things that have happened to people in the past? What can I do that as like preventative measures? Like, we're in such a resource society. And then you can like hire a professional lawyer to execute those things. But I remember I was in this group and like there was this like trend that was happening where like people were getting like handicap lawsuits and stuff for not having like certain specificities met on their website and all different kinds of stuff that like when you start a business from, your living room, you don't think about. You're just like, oh, I just want to help this kind of person. And like the reality is that there are definitely people out there who were like, this was like rampant in a coaching group that I was in years ago, where it's like different people were initiating lawsuits based off of like people's handicap settings on their website. And it was just like a thing, or like they were just looking for people who didn't have those settings on.
Yeah.
And
They're
then
doing that with privacy policies these days,
mhm,
pop-ups.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, a quick little search in AI and say like, here's the industry, what are all the legal things that I should take into consideration? And then finding a lawyer who can, meet the needs of that particular expertise, like so worth just feeling that like sensation of protection in your soul as you're like, just from an energetic perspective, like you're not going to blow up in the way that you want to blow up, because there's this like, I used to have this huge fear. I've really done a lot of different techniques on myself of like, I'm not actually afraid of the lawsuit. I'm afraid of the paperwork. Like the idea of like stacks of paperwork and me just like staring at all that paper like used to make my chest seize up. And then I gave myself permission to hire an expert to handle the paperwork. And I'm like, I don't actually have to look. I don't actually have to handle all that paperwork. I hire
But that
someone I
fear is real. I mean, I talk to women every day, and it's like, I'm afraid of putting myself out there. Like, I'm
Yeah.
afraid to get copied. I'm afraid of doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of energy. It's an energy leak, and we like to plug those leaks.
We sure do. Love a good plug. Insert in hole here.
What do you look for in an attorney? That she's super serious.
She does not crack a smile, has no soul. Well, that's a little bit part of the job. All right, what's
That was
next?
it. That was the last
Okay.
question.
Okay, great. No, these are good questions. And I'm glad that we got this email, because there are a lot of women who don't think about it at all. And there are a lot of women that are staying small because it's overwhelming and they don't know what to do or what to start or who to trust. And really, I think the biggest thing for women is they don't know who to trust. So
Yeah.
I've worked with, I would say, 5 different lawyers over the years, and I've not had a bad experience with any of them. And I love and adore Berkeley, but you're just the one that has the best personality.
Oh, thank you.
I can't say that's it. Like you and Lena, I would have to say would be like a total match, but like she doesn't do legal work anymore. But if she's listening, like I love you too. You're equal. She saved my life in that like exit. Saved my life in that exit. I didn't know Berkeley then. I met Berkeley through Leanne at her mastermind. Leanne
Yeah.
Lopez Mosley. Most of you guys know her. Yeah,
Right.
in Miami. Yep.
Yeah.
Fell in love with her at dinner and in that fun little mastermind the next day. And then turns out she lives right down the street.
Yep.
And has twins and is dating, and like we just got together, and like we don't talk about lawyer stuff all that much, but
We don't. We really don't.
Okay, so let's
talk about legal stuff.
This is the most we've actually ever talked about legal stuff.
I don't think we've ever talked about legal stuff, because if we have stuff, it's like our team's talking.
Except for the time that you like stepped out of your zone and you did help me with like the whole dog thing at my
yes. Okay, I remember that.
My apartment, my condo that I was living in. They were trying to tell me Keith's dog couldn't come there anymore. And I'm like, well, he's a service dog. I don't think legally can say that. And that was right when I had lunch with you. And I'm like, wait, could you help with this?
Yeah,
just intimidate them long enough for me to get out of here.
Yes.
Which we did. Okay. So thanks for that. Okay. Now let's get back to the good stuff. So our technique, do you want to tell the story?
Yeah.
Or
So
start it?
how do we even start this story? So we went out to dinner and drinks, and Andrea had decided that it was time I get out there again, because I went into a little bit of a hibernation after I'm still going through my divorce a year and a half later. But after my separation, I went into like a little hibernation where I was not dating or like leaving my house or seeing anyone. And you're like, it's time. It's time to get back out there and just see what's
Just
out there.
enjoy life.
Enjoy life and like meet a guy and like talk to him, you know?
Have someone obsess over you.
Yeah. So
Bring
that
you
was the
delight.
goal of the night. We were like, we're just going to meet a guy. We're going to like
Yeah.
we're going to talk to a male again.
We as in she.
We
But
as
yeah.
in me, but yeah, with like assistance of 3 of my girlfriends, including Andrea. So
3
we
other
sat
witches.
3 other witches, and we went to this bar, and there were 2 timer incidences, if you'll remember.
Yep.
So we had our eye, and we being me, I had my eye on someone. There's the cute guy, and I was like, he's really cute, but he's like not coming over. And we were kind of like talking about why don't guys just like approach women anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And we were like, we're going to set this timer for 60 seconds and he's going to come over and talk to you.
No, you said if somebody doesn't come over, you like casually actually set this timer. And then I clocked the timer working because nobody noticed because everybody was like a little drinking. And I was like, wait, did we not just see what happened?
You tell this story better.
You set it for 60 seconds and you're like, if a guy doesn't come up to me in the next 60 seconds, we're leaving. We'll go somewhere else. So you drew a fucking line in the sand with the universe of like, this or better, but I will not sit around and wait anymore. I'm not a woman who waits. I am a woman who is met. And she set a fucking timer. The timer beeps. She turns it off in like 3, 2, 1. Guy walks up and he's like, I was just walking out of here, but I could not leave without coming over here to say hi to you. He wasn't even staying there, but he's like, cannot fucking exist without letting you know I see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all coming back to me. And I was like, what is this magic?
Nobody noticed at first. And I was like, you guys, the timer.
It was so wild.
So then we did it again.
And then we did it again. And the second time worked. And there was a third time, actually, that you weren't present for. But Amber, who was at our dinner, who was there with us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to just tag all of these guys because I love this expose. But Amber was trying to set me up with somebody. She owns an amazing like co-working space in Boca. Shout out the Flamingo House. But she was trying to set me up with someone. And she was like, he walked in, right? So he walked in and she's texting me and she was like, he's going to come like introduce himself in 2 minutes.
Yes.
And like 1 minute and 15 seconds later, he just like walked in and introduced himself. It was like, it's wild. The timer is like witchcraft that I don't understand.
It is your vibration getting sure of like, it is this or better, but I shall accept nothing other than those 2 options.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a decisiveness and the universe responds to decisiveness, whatever it is, whether you like how decisive you are and it's just responding to like more what you don't want or whatnot, but like it does respond to decisiveness. I was watching a YouTube short and it was of Matthew McConaughey last night. And he was talking about how when he was like, I could not do another rom-com. Couldn't do it. I've never heard this story about him. I didn't realize he wasn't doing rom-coms because I think I've just mostly only watched him in them. And he's like, I just wouldn't do them anymore. And he's like, I let my what's the person's name that like goes out and finds some work?
Manager?
Like a manager or something like that. PR, whoever. Yeah. I let my person know, like, I'm not doing these anymore. And he goes, 6 months go by, 12 months go by. He's like, no work offers. And he's like, low key freaking out. Now, when you already have millions of dollars, like you have the ability to like wait for the universe to rearrange. But I love this story because it was like to go this long and still allow it to rearrange of it. Is this or something different? He's like, well, I might have to go get a job working at a zoo. Or like, he was like, that is the only alternative here. I always say, well, the reason we keep getting less is because we keep saying yes to it. So he's like, I will not say yes to this anymore. Finally, 18 months go by and he gets an offer. The offer is for another rom-com. And they start at like 8 million. And he's like, no. 10 million. No. 14 million. I think it like went up to 16 million. And he's like, let me read the script again. But he said, no, right? Right after that, not even for 14 million motherfucking dollars will I ever do that kind of work because it doesn't feed my soul. I will only do it if it creates like an aliveness in my soul. He just like drew that line in the sand of like only aliveness for me. It is this or something else, but it's not that anymore. No, no, no. And then he started getting all of these other scripts, all of his like dream roles, that were like really feeding his soul. But I was like, it's such a ballsy move, especially in a line of work like that, where like you're turning down, $14 million scripts or deals. Like that is a universal motherfucking meet me here.
I mean, I totally feel this, like with just being tested, and you have to pass the tests to move to the next level.
And most of us aren't. We're just like, ooh, I guess I'll just take that client.
Even though you have that gut feeling, or like, I'm like, with guys, like dating, I feel like I'm passing them. I'm like cutthroat.
You are
like,
cutthroat.
Send me one more test. Let's see. You don't think I can pass it?
I'm a lawyer, bitch. Okay. So anyways, you had like so much fun that night. Every intention that you set was like met and more. The timer, guys, set a fucking timer. I did this years ago when I was trying to sell my house. So my ex-husband and I had purchased a house when he was deployed. The market had just crashed. We got this like great house for like $80,000 or something like that. It was crazy. And we purchased it and then we went to sell, and we were supposed to make like, I don't know, $60,000, $70,000 on it or whatever. So it's on the market for 30 days, no bites. And my real estate agent is like, we've got to drop the price. And I'm like, okay, we will, but let me do this first. And I just set a fucking timer. And I'm like, we will sell this house in 48 hours to the most perfect people that are going to love and adore this house, that we can love and adore this experience. 48 hours, set the timer. Bitch, we sold that house and there was a bidding war. We had 2 offers within 48 hours and it had been on the market for a month. No offers. None.
You're reminding, like, you're reminding me of this. Like, I need to go. I'm going to set a timer. I don't know what it's going to be for.
I know. I just want to set a timer too for something. For something great. Actually, I know mine too. Okay, great. We'll text later.
Okay.
You guys, please send me and Berkley DMs of your timer celebrations, because we know you guys are like the group where you're like, oh, I understand. I got the assignment. And like, please just send us like a little group DM and be like, I set a timer. Guess what happened? And like,
and then we'll tell you the full story of the timer.
Right. Then we'll tell you the rest.
Not appropriate for the internet.
We'll tell you the rest of the story with photos. With photos, and we'll send you like the Google details of like names and like
totally
teams played on and like all the things. We'll just create one Google Doc with like all of like the details. Be like, you now have access. Yes. Okay. Anyways, if you guys didn't already love Berkley, you love her now. If you guys need legal accoutrement, Berkley is your woman. All links you also have some great like templates and stuff for people who are just starting out, right? If they're like not ready for like the big leagues of like more custom stuff, but they do want some protection that's pretty general protection. You have awesome templates. We'll link those for you guys below if you're just getting started and you're like managing your monies as you grow, which you do need to do. Or if you guys actually need like one-on-one service, Berkley is your woman, and we can't wait to hear your timer stories. Please send Berkley a thank you for giving you all of the legal details that you need in order to protect this beautiful business that you're growing. Like, we love you. We care about what it is that you're building. We want to make sure that it has stability and that it lasts and that it's protected and that you're not like staying small and that you're able to be as visible as you want to be, knowing that you're also like protected in all realms spiritually and then literally legally. Berkley's your woman for that. So I love you. Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
Check the links in the show notes. Send Berkley a thank you. And then if you know anybody else who's been asking or looking for legal advice, please make sure to hit the share button, send them this episode. Make sure to share Berkley with them as well. And we will also share all of the private details through the DMs about hot firefighter baseball guy. Love you guys. See you on the next episode. And that's a wrap on today's episode of More Live. But you already know the conversation doesn't end here. In fact, if you check the show notes, you will see that there's a link where you can essentially leave us a voicemail. You can comment on today's episode, tell us what was your mic drop moment, and you can also ask questions. Your audio might be featured on a future More Live episode. So also, if something in today's episode really hit home with you, share it. Think about somebody who might need to hear that. And you guys already know, I love chatting with you guys in the DMs. So come over to Instagram, slide into my DMs, and tell me what hit hardest today. I want to hear from you. And if you want to keep this energy going, you already know, let's make this official. Subscribe, leave a review, and let's turn this shit into a movement, because you know, the more live you feel, the more live the world becomes.